assassin actually on the side of Team Dignitas. Now quite a bit of AD coming into this composition.
Yeah, very bold choices there by Team Dignitas.
As you can see here, you see how Impact can come off the bench and start producing results here. A lot of love in the early game. Thunderlord's making LOD think twice, has the flash. Sneaky,
heal.
One more shot. That's gonna be the big one to Sneaky going for 172. Means first blood for you. Sneaky gets out. And Knight coming in. Do they get XPECIAL? He's just throwing glitter everywhere. Not enough to save his teammate, but first blood, 1 minute in.
Chaser gets a flash cocoon, it would be something, but C9 would have to expose themselves for it. Leeson also coming in from the back. This could end up being a 3v3 and get very ugly.
Taking the long way around. Sneaky. Does he decide to come in still? Depending on where Chaser he leaves, he actually just goes down to the bot side, does not try to go towards the ward in river.
Yeah, SSUMDAY changed his pattern a little bit there. He had been feinting towards his turret. That time he feinted towards the brush. Chaser's still going to be up here, though. Impact has flash.
That overheat. Goes for the hit, repel in, another few. SSUMDAY goes in knowing Scarl will give him the hit from the turret, disengage, and then it goes on to Chaser. They buy a few shots nicely to get the dive in, as well as his flash in that instance. So Chaser now trying to work off Summoners being down. Heal for JENSEN. Oh, nice dodge to the right. So it would have been a for sure cocoon between the turret and the wall.
Probably gonna end up being safe.
He squeaks out. It's like, I feel like I am surrounded by people. Sixth sense tells me I am right, and he backs out. So push to the wave here for SSUMDAY, 35 to 28. That's going to be missed minions now for Impact as he starts to fall slightly behind in lane. Not terrible for a Rumble. All right, CONTRACTZ looking for an in and an out. If the minion waves gets there, he's got a for sure safeguard. Well, right now the team is pushing it slow to not initiate anything until Dignitas there is going to be a gank. Oh!
They have summoner spells.
Face check on the brush, actually gets away before the cripple comes in, and he cannot get the slow onto LOD. This may give Chaser a bit of a chance to get himself into range.
Keane also has ultimate and ignite, so Team Dignitas might want to chase this.
Death mark onto CONTRACTZ, look for it above his head. He's going to stay safe on this one. Oh, ignite, however, could change that. He will stay alive.
Absolutely, and the top lane aggression is going to be there, actually. Kled has a ton of early game damage, but both junglers collapsing once again.
Wow, reading each other like a book here. Ultimate comes in, so Chaser's got the movement speed. CONTRACTZ knows he can't close that distance, and now he might be in a real bad spot. Locked down with the bear trap. Chaser as well, looking to get the kill. Gets that execute in, and they take down CONTRACTZ too.
And Chaser in particular has been generally ahead of the game on CONTRACTZ. XPECIAL says hello.
Plants, Whimsy, glitter,
whoa,
ignite. No rotation from Keane. Almost got him. Put the help picks on, thought he could get a bit more chase.
And remember, we talked about the double turret resetting by the Kled and the Elise, so they're gonna go.
They just saw CONTRACTZ on a ward down by the red buff. Safe gank to the top side, and they are in. CONTRACTZ realizing he grabs aggro, but like you said, both can just deny the aggro of the turret.
C9 is actually winning 2/3 of the map. This is the 1/3 where they're not winning, though.
Hooks him over to the right. Cocoon into bear trap. They lock down Impact, making sure he comes into the game. We're going to try to get this guy's mental on tilt.
Yeah, and they really are trading sides of the map. Chaser's got to be very careful about where he goes right here. Team Dignitas is trying to transition their Zed down into split pushing. This could be a 5v5, though.
Chaser very low, doesn't have much to go. He actually goes over to red buff. Keane is there to help him out. Wild growth onto LOD. XPECIAL stays alive as the culling goes back in the fight. SSUMDAY's come all the way from the top lane as he has just been harvesting the minions, keeping Impact pushed in. Forces his teleport. The equalizer on the edge of XPECIAL burns him down. SSUMDAY very low is Keane. Now the rest of the team gonna find the first call. LOD takes a hit. He gets through the uprights and another one to miss as C9 doesn't have the rest of the follow-up. A 2-for-1. As Dignitas comes out on top. That's a good one by SMOOTHIE and CONTRACTZ to keep the top side of their Fog of War clear. Oh, I don't know if they want this. They don't have too much vision over that red buff, so SSUMDAY could be going into danger here. CONTRACTZ grabs it. Chaser getting pretty hurt. He's gonna have to put himself up, but drop in the same spot. And drop on that equalizer. Dignitas goes in blind to C9's jungle, and they are starting to regret it quite a bit. CONTRACTZ taking damage. That puts LOD in the front for a possible death onto him, and then Sneaky takes the death mark. Easily gonna live from that as Dignitas is kind of inching themselves in and out, but only really taking more damage than they're able to deal. Impact almost gets himself out alive. There's the auto coming in from Chasers. Keane stays alive. What an extended fight here. And still, actually, it's 2 for 2. In a fight, I thought C9 came out on top.
Everybody go for impact.
Macaroons. This is the composition you want to see that Sivir in at this
Trying
point,
to recall
right?
in time.
Should be good. Oh, forced to move. Volatile Spider to start things off, and they're going to burn down XPECIAL. Impact doing what he can, valiantly going down. It looks like Dig getting pushed around the map here, so they're not with minion waves in any position to take down the turret. Just a quick kill on Impact, and hopefully setting up Vision to allow some further plays.
CONTRACTZ going for the solo kill. Whoa. CONTRACTZ, yeah, attempted to predict the Q because he knew he had Orianna coming around the side, but
would have been nice.
Would have been very sick.
Oh, look like they're going for too much of a fight. C9 cleaning up the outside of the map. Calling on to JENSEN, they get in quite fast. That was the wild growth. Who's going to be over the wall to take him down? Command, shield, and dissonance. Bit of hesitation there from Dignitas. Both sums onto JENSEN, so they may get a return kill.
It's a person you want the gold on if you're Team Dignitas, but it is still a single point of failure. Running away.
Still has flash and teleport, so not too bad.
This game much closer, and even though C9 is on the back foot, they have definitely played from these deficits before.
Ooh!
That solo mission.
Deja vu! This was the same spot! Of course they're gonna know you're coming back. SSUMDAY low, gets the exhaust out. Sonic Wave follows, resonating strike, CONTRACTZ picks up the kill, goes down. For his efforts, Chaser's gonna get knocked up, taken down. There goes XPECIAL. And Chaser just about at the same time. Lot over the wall, and Deja vu. Dignitas puts himself into the fire once again, and C9 know how to react. Oh, possible helpful kills. Shields him. No way. They're going to take him down. He actually has to pull all the way back to the initial ult. Oh, good guy CONTRACTZ with a bromant for Impact. Flash was burned. Teleport still up for Impact, so C9 can still make the cross-map plays. This is the armor he can squeeze in.
Really trying to force these fights is SSUMDAY.
Whoa. He's going to be down to about 25%.
Oh, no.
Can't even get to him. Chaser locked in there, and it's going to be him and SSUMDAY falling. The mission is impossible, and this time the rest of the team's left to run away. Baron in the eyes of C9.
That one was just a huge overforce by SSUMDAY. Keane was still running back from base, and yet another blind engage by Team Dignitas before they have vision of everyone leads to another poor play. Now C9 turn for Baron.
LOD with the culling. Tries to get himself in a good spot. C9 pick up the Baron. XPECIAL in a bad spot. Almost a harpoon. Scuttle basically saves his life, but the next harpoon, free of charge, hits onto LOD. Can they finish the kill off? And it does come in from SMOOTHIE. Really no reason to be there for Dig.
Yeah, full tilt coming in from Team Dignitas right now. They seem to be in disarray. LOD stops to kill a control ward while C9 chases him down. Despite the giant lead that SSUMDAY had earlier on in the game, now just 1,200 gold up on Impact. And C9 making a strong push with Baron. Ooh. And JENSEN is fed.
JENSEN being JENSEN. I was going to say, it's been interesting. Dignitas has chosen to take these fights in the jungle. Having so much control from an equalizer, a shockwave.
Well, here we go.
Another kill comes in. People are getting soloed out all across the map, so how is the resulting fight going to happen? LOD out, Impact out, and we initiate once again. Sneaky gets the death mark. He's pushed back right away, but he's still going to stay alive for the time being. Keane gets a shield, flashes himself out with the Ignite burning, should stay alive, and he does. The team now moves on to CONTRACTZ. SSUMDAY actually got the Sonic Wave, and CONTRACTZ finishes. Will they be able to get back to him after the Guardian Angel comes up? Another tag there as JENSEN moves to safety. Shield and dissonance on Keane, trying to represent back into the fight, but he can't get the damage down into JENSEN. And these just do not end. Is that the second time he ulted in this fight? I can't even tell anymore. SSUMDAY comes up with a kill. JENSEN with another one onto XPECIAL. And this one finally fizzles out with people across the map. Let's see how they can do when they reach the front doorstep.
Yeah, already just looking to go for C9.
Very Talia-esque equalizer, stopping Dignitas from getting anywhere. Nice job by Impact to start things off. Shockwave has already been used in this one, and big damage coming in from Volatile Spider. Chaser able to hit CONTRACTZ in, goes down. That's Guardian Angel. Where's the focus next? Keane's hit up very fast. And that looks like they are able to get themselves back to safety. It's only a few, or I should say one dead on impact, but Keane and LOD are down, and that's a lot of damage for Dignitas.
Yeah, I mean, Team Dignitas has a lot of trouble getting in. SSUMDAY
Yep.
dismounted before that fight even really began, and then CONTRACTZ sacrificed his Guardian Angel so they could secure the kill onto LOD. Just means C9 can continue this push.
He's actually looking at currently just around 70 seconds, 81 seconds on his ultimate, so they can do that pretty often. Dignitas finally getting all their members in a basket. Wild growth very early on to SSUMDAY, not really baiting in a kill, but it does get CONTRACTZ. Is this enough for them to continue to follow? No grab on by SSUMDAY, calling onto impact. See Scrap shields himself. The safety is going to be maybe early. The damage is going to lock onto him. Yes, it does, as impact tries to save himself a little too soon. And now Dignitas find themselves 2 kills and possibly a mid-turret. A late curtain call coming in from Sneaky, but it's actually when they needed it. 562 popping up on the screen as that last shot turns the tide of the fight and turns Dignitas away.
Sparing pretty easily with the plants, but you can see how dark that is right now. And C9 can just kind of start it up. It would be an interesting trade for Elder Drake, though, because Team Dignitas have 3 of the elementals if they can get it in time. Look at that.
Gentleman's agreement, chat.
Yeah, this makes it interesting, actually, between them. But Team Dignitas has wanted to go. Kled goes right here.
I want to see some fights. That's what we're looking for. Zanya's down. That means it kind of goes on to CONTRACTZ first. Impact trying to get himself to safety. Both redemptions going in the same spot. Shockwave not doing much over on the side of C9. CONTRACTZ goes down first. Then we see XPECIAL fall. SSUMDAY on the front line with Wild Growth could go down. And that's going to be the GA coming up. Do they have enough to protect him? Impact basically out of this fight. SMOOTHIE can't re-enter in either. And Sneaky looking for some final shots. Oh, 1090 onto LOD. Almost cost him his life there as he thought he was being helpful. In the end, he does help a teammate out. Not a whole lot of wave clear on the side of Dignitas, unless they ult.
Yeah, they need to pretty much hard initiate to get something going, but it's, as we mentioned, really difficult for them to get in on the Shockwave and the Zyra and the Equalizer. Turret going down. Ooh.
Shockwave.
This Shockwave.
Once again, is that the trigger now for Dignitas? SSUMDAY gets the Wild Growth. Keane on the side. Captive Audience slows him down. Sneaky gets the ultimate, and they're both going back. Everybody pushed out of the redemption. Sneaky now opens up curtain call from the backside. XPECIAL's 1 shot away from going down. He gets hit by a plant, and C9 starts to follow through. They found an opening in the fight, but do they find the kills? Another nice grasping root coming in from SMOOTHIE. Locks down the team, allows the triple kill for JENSEN, and C9 slowly pressuring forward, finally find the opening in Dignitas, finally find the opening in their base, and at 21-21 kills, 40 minutes in, Cloud9 will take down the Nexus and the series over Dignitas, 2-0.